with you, and when I defang the Viper, trust me, ain't gonna come from nowhere. Jeff, I already put you out. I don't even know why you're out here right now. Keep on talking. Hey, do me a favor. Why don't you act like this is an AA meeting and you shut your mouth while I'm sharing with the group? And Mustafa, you out here, a boy among men. And I'm gonna tell you what, you got lucky at the Rumble, so I know you're gonna come out here and run your mouth about how bad you are. But let me give you a little bit of a reality check. You see, Mustafa, you said that my eyes don't lie. Well, your eyes don't lie either, because last week, they were closed real tight when I put your simple ass to sleep. And AJ, hey man, be honest with me. How's our old girl Wendy doing?
Welcome back to the Karrion Wrestling Podcast. It's me, Hafeez, and with me as always is Devin, and we are about to break down AEW Dynamite and NXT from this week, the gold standard. And yeah, this week, I mean, we talked about it before we started recording that, you know, with AEW, you know, it was kind of hard to, like, you know, right off the top of our head say, oh man, what was great about the week? Whereas with NXT, like, it was a really strong episode, really strong booking by them. So, you know, in this, we'll hit some bullet points on AEW, but NXT will probably where we spend the most of our focus. So let's get right into AEW. Let's just cut right to the chase with that. The Inner Circle. Let's start there. So the Inner Circle had this matchup, this tag team triple threat tag matchup to decide who would be the tag team for the Inner Circle, right? And so you had Santana and Ortiz, of course. You had Sammy Hager, you know, that team of Jake Hager and Sammy Guevara. And then you had Jericho and MJF. And MJF, you know, before the matchup started, you know, he went into the locker room and, you know, all the guys except for Jericho were there. And he's like, look, you know, if it were up to me, we wouldn't be doing this matchup. But our leader, you know, he wants us to do this. So, you know, let's just go out there and have a great matchup, you know. And then Sammy, you know, wasn't here. And he's like, look, man, look, Sammy, like, I hear what you're saying, but I just want you to understand something, okay? I love all you guys and you. As a matter of fact, with you, I appreciate the fact that you're willing to say what's on your mind no matter what and be honest and brutally honest at that. And I'm just like, he gave Sammy props, and Sammy couldn't really say anything. And it kind of like he took it in. And then he was fist bumping everybody, and then Sammy said, "We're not there yet." But it kind of felt like they're getting there.
Yeah,
like he's actually getting to Sammy also.
So if he's able to make a friend out of Sammy, then it's complete. It's done. It's done. Then we're on that road now.
Man, I mean, yeah, I feel like that we are on the road for sure. For MJF to take over as the leader of the Inner Circle. We are fully entrenched, still on that road. In the matchup itself, all three teams did a great job. But at the end, you know, the team that won ended up being the Jericho MJF tag team. They ended up coming out successful. They'll be trying to challenge for the tag team championships. Yeah, man, I don't know. And it was overall with the matchup, it was cool seeing them compete. And at first it was friendly, but then they started getting like to be themselves. Jericho even had the bat tossed to him and, you know, kind of shrugged when he got caught by Hager. I was like, oh, sorry, man.
With a big ass kick to the chest. Like, ha!
They weren't pulling punches, man.
No,
MJF had the ring, you know. He got caught with the ring. Like, hey, man, sorry.
Like, it's all good, man, right?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So, you know, but overall, yeah, good matchup. But, yeah, we definitely see it coming where this team is – they're looking like MJF might be on the road to taking over for this team. So we'll see what happens there. Any other thoughts on that whole situation?
No, man, this was just an entertaining match right here. I believe this was the main event match, right?
That was the main event.
Yeah, the main event. Yeah. So this is a great, you know, main event match. I think it was about 15 minutes. So they packed a lot, you know, in 15 minutes. So I can appreciate the tag team, you know, chemistry between Santana and Ortiz. They still throw it down. I wish they came out on top, but within the story, it makes sense for Chris Jericho to MJF to go over because we are on the road until the destruction of the Inner Circle.
Yeah, man. Oh, man. We're gonna stay tuned and keep watch for that.
Yes, yes.
Earlier in the night, actually to start the night, they celebrated -1's birthday, Brody Lee Jr. Right before the triple threat matchup, or not triple threat matchup. It was an 8-man tag between the Dark Order and Adam Hangman Page versus TH2 and Chaos Project. So, first of all, the birthday was cool. It was a gesture. They all sang happy birthday to -1. Awesome. Then you had Luther come out and say he was going to ruin the birthday, and just like destroy everything. And because he's like, you say I look stupid? You're wearing that mask, little kid, and with all your cronies, and you're calling me stupid? And so it kind of broke out into a fight, and the match kind of got started that way. Adam Page came from the back, did a dive off the stage onto the group at the ground. So kind of kicked things off that way. The ending of this matchup was great tag team cohesion in the side of the Dark Order and Hangman Page.
Oh my God!
You had oh my God, it was crazy. It was like a
bang,
punch
bang,
by
bang,
Reynolds
bang.
into an enziguri by Silver, into German suplex, into the buckshot lariat from Hangman Page, like in succinct. It was like some sick anime finishing.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is happening right now, man? It's just like all this stuff just man. I'm like, damn. Serpentico was finished, man. They took him out. So he was done. -1 up at the stage had a cool moment where you had Luther. He was about to put Cabana through a table, and -1 had a kendo stick and hit Luther in the back, and Luther was like, what the heck? And then Cabana threw Luther into the table. He didn't go through the table, but he hit the cake, so he had cake all on his face. So that was pretty funny. But at the end, when the Dark Order got the victory, they set the stage for them to finally get the answer from Adam Page on whether or not he would join the Dark Order. Silver got down on one knee, and he said, will you join the Dark Order? And Hangman, he's like, I can't. And then they put up on the Tron. He said yes. And they had all these people in like cowboy gear getting ready to come out. And Dark Order's like, get back there. No, take all that down. No, he said no. Like, no, stop.
You see Stu Grayson getting on them like, get out of here.
Stu is like, no, send everybody back. No, he didn't say yes. So then what happened? Then Hangman was just like, look, I did the whole group thing before. It didn't work out so well. So I just can't do it. He walked off. I was left with a feeling like this isn't over. They didn't definitively have like Silver give up. And I don't think he's given up. So I think this will continue on.
Same here, man. Like, perfect breakdown. I enjoyed the match. I enjoyed Brody Jr. He actually cut better promos than half the roster that's in AEW or WWE too. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. But I'm just speaking facts right there, man. I'm like, this dude is 8 years old, cutting better promos than people that been in the business for longer than a decade, man. You know what I'm saying? So he's a natural. I can't wait for him to, when he grow up and be established. So that's going to be fun. They're almost future-proofing his career, so that's cool. I'm cool with the whole chemistry between Adam Hangman Page and Dark Order. Like I said last week, where I think they're heading is, I think eventually Adam Page will join Dark Order. There will be more of his support system, how he will get better. He would probably stop the drinking, improve in his matches, to be on this run to face Adam Hangman Page, man. So that's why I had said last week. So with this match, when I saw the outcome and how he said no, I was like, nah, they're not done with this. Like you, like I had a feeling, like I had a strong inkling, like, nah, I have a feeling they're not done. Like they might show some extra on the BTE or on Monday, which I might catch to see what happens, and it might flow into this coming up Wednesday. But that's how I feel about the whole Adam Hangman Page and Dark Order situation, bro.
No, we're on the same page with that, man. Definitely, this is to be continued for the story with Adam Hangman Page and the Dark Order. if AEW is not going to give light to the women, we're going to do it here on the show. Penelope Ford and Layla Hirsch, I want to talk about that for a second. So they had a solid matchup. The standout here for me was definitely Layla Hirsch. She showed up, so she's 4'11", right? So when I saw her come out, like the thing that stands out right off the bat is just how small she is. And that top rope, it's like I was trying to decide. It was hard to tell from the camera angle.
Hold on, was this your first time seeing her?
This wasn't my first time seeing her, but I hadn't seen her in a while. So I actually wasn't, I knew I had seen her, but I didn't remember like her matches or anything like that. So she stood out more to me in this one than she did last time because this was a memorable match for me. And again, one thing I was looking at, I was trying to see just kind of a funny side was I was trying to see, is she taller than that top rope? Because she's so tiny in the ring. Yeah. It's like, wow. But she's tiny, but she packs a punch. So she went out there. She had an awesome matchup. She showed a nice power side with the deadlift German suplex that she did on Penelope Ford. Love the double knees in the corner. It was like a nice combo that she did from that deadlift into the double knees. She had a nice top rope move where she kind of stepped on the second rope, jumped to the top rope, and then hit Miro and Charles Taylor, the butler now. Charles.
He was getting involved too, which was cool.
He got involved. So Layla took them out. And then when she went back in the ring, Penelope Ford did a running knee lift, went for the pin. And they had, it was Kip Sabian, actually, that it was kind of a botch, actually, I think, at the end there, where I think Layla Hirsch was supposed to have her leg on the rope, but it wasn't. And then Kip Sabian went up top. He was supposed to push the leg off the rope, but instead he put her leg on the rope and then tried to push it off the rope. I don't know. It was kind of like mistimed because the camera caught all of this happening, and I was like, oh, shit. Like,
and the commentators kind of confused. They was trying to play it off. Well,
we don't know what's going on.
No, JR already confused already.
Right,
so
guys.
He's just even more confused with that.
But, spotlight on Layla Hirsch, though, because I felt like she had a good matchup. And it was the only women's matchup on the card, which we talked about before. The women need more of a spotlight on AEW, so I'm going to make it my personal mission here, and I know you're going to back this definitely, that we will make sure we're talking about the women of AEW to try to put more of a light on that women's division because, damn it needs to happen in AEW. They need to have
a thorough
more
conversation last week about the AEW's women's division, how it's lacking. And shout out to Half K, too, because they pointed out, too, how they're actually – he said he thinks they're at least 6 to 7 years behind NXT when it comes to the AEW women's division. Like, they're in the phase of right before the women's revolution, before, the Four Horsemen can't arrive, before we had these diva short matches. That's what AEW, they're in that phase with the women's division. You only see one match. They gave this match to breathe. They gave this match, they made that. When they have the women's matches on AEW, you do let them breathe, but it's only one, though. It's just one. That's it.
Right.
It's never more than one women's segment, too, at that. So they just need to add more, put more spotlight, like we're doing with the women, man.
Yep, exactly. And shout out to Penelope Ford, too. She had a great matchup, but she also looked a lot like Lana, which I couldn't get over during this matchup. I think it was the braid that she had. I think that's why I kept thinking of Lana, but I'm like, man, like, Miro's there, and I see blonde with the gear, the purple, the color and the
purple,
style of it. Like,
the costume is similar.
This looks like Lana.
Yeah.
It was something that I was like, okay. So I don't know if it was on purpose or if there's just the resemblance is just there, but I was like, wow, it looks like Lana. So hey, maybe they're sending subtle subliminals to Lana, like, come on over to AEW, which. I think it's just inevitable that that'll happen with her husband being in AEW, but we'll see. All right, so moving on from that, the last thing really to talk about on AEW is the, I guess, more clear heel turn that we had for Private Party. So we had Private Party and Matt Hardy. That's kind of hard to say. Private Party and Matt Hardy versus Top Flight and Matt Sydal. So basically what happened was, the match was going great. A lot of back and forth action. There was like a triple Boston Crab at one point by the team of Top Flight and Matt Sydal. There was Matt Hardy had hit the side effect on all 3 members of the other team at one point, looking super strong. I was like, wow, what? Matt Hardy's just OP at this point. Like, how's he doing this to all 3 of these members? So that was cool. But then you had both members of Top Flight. I think they had Mark Quinn on the top rope. Maybe they're going to do like a double superplex or something. Matt Hardy pushed one of them off. And then you had Isaiah Cassidy come up with a chair and hit, I think Dante is his name, in the side with the chair. And, you know, he it was funny. Isaiah Cassidy had this, like, look on his face, like, yeah. And Mark Quinn was like, what? What's happening? Oh. And then it slowly, like, Grinch smile.
Yeah.
Like he was.
I was like, I knew it. See?
Yeah.
Yes, Matt. Make them heal, and they are.
Yep. Oh, they're there now. So Shooting Star Press, 1, 2, 3. They got the win. Then you had Top Flight and Matt Sydal being like, hey, what the hell? Use the chair. And then in the background, I don't know if you caught it, but Matt Hardy, as this kind of argument between Private Party and Top Flight with Matt Sydal was happening, Matt Hardy kind of nods. He's like, and then you had Private Party just get to, putting like the fist to him, like beating him down. I'm like, now at the command of Matt Hardy, they're ready to just sick anybody. So I like that. Like a clear, okay, now they're heels. They're trying to win at all costs. Let's go. Let's see what this direction does for Private Party going forward.
I think it's going to work very well in their favor, especially when you got Matt Hardy, being that legend he is and elevating, Private Party, being their manager, having these segments, putting them over, having these comedy segments too, which is great. But paying this off, this long-term booking, because they've been booked together for what I want to say 4 or 5 months now. You know what I'm saying? And now seeing this payoff is great, man. So I'm all for it. This is what I want, and I'm down for the party, or the Matt Hardy party, or Hardy party. Yeah, Hardy party. There we go.
Yeah, man. Oh, man. So now let's switch gears over to NXT. Like we said, super strong NXT card. I'm going to go down the list of these matches real quick and just briefly bring them up, and then we'll double back here. So we've got the Dusty Classic. We had Johnny Gargano and Austin Theory versus Kushida and Leon Ruff. In the end, it was Kushida and Leon Ruff that came up with the victory there. Great matchup, great just tag team wrestling from both sides. A lot of chemistry from both sides with two teams that really don't tag up that much, but the chemistry was apparent, man. Just great tandem moves on both sides. So awesome job there. We had Karrion Kross versus Ashanti Theodonis. He just got destroyed. I mean, that's just really what it was. He got destroyed, and then his boy got destroyed too, right after the matchup too. Just 0 F's given in this matchup. Karrion Kross looking like a beast. He wants the NXT Championship. It's inevitable. That match is happening at some point very, very soon. We had another matchup for the Dusty Classic, Imperium versus Lucha House Party. It was funny because Wade Barrett kept picking teams to win, and they kept losing. He picked Imperium, and they lost. And we had Lucha House Party win this matchup. And for me, it was a little bit of a shocker. I did not see that coming. So shout out to Lucha House Party for winning this match.
Yeah, I was shocked too, man. Like, if I was to pick an upset, it wouldn't have been with Imperium and Lucha House Party. Tell you that. No,
it would. Yeah, right. Exactly. Now, the only thing, though, is that they're going to go against El Hijo del Fantasma next. Yeah. So if I would have seen the bracket and really been, like, analyzing it like that.
That's true. Fact.
You could make an argument there because they have history. Right, right. But great matchup, man. I mean, this one, it felt like it went about 20 minutes. And they
almost
put on
every Dusty Classic match that night, they let it breathe.
20-minute range.
Yeah, they was letting it breathe, bro.
Yeah. And then, we also had a return in that matchup too. What's his name? It was
Is it Bronson Reed?
No. In the after the Imperium matchup, he was on the stage.
Wolf. Alexander Wolf.
Alexander Wolf. Thank you. Yeah, he was up on the stage, and so maybe we get Imperium coming together on
NXT
the US side and NXT, and we get Walter showing up pretty soon. That'd be awesome. So we'll see. So moving forward from there, another shocker. We had the team of Caden Carter and Casey Catanzaro going against Mercedes Martinez. What's
Tony Storm?
Why am I blanking on Tony Storm? Thank you. I'm trying to get all these names in my head. And Tony Storm. And I was shocked because
you were shocked, seriously?
I was shocked. I was. So here's the thing. Here's my viewing experience of it was they showed Tony Storm and Mercedes Martinez promo in the back, and they were basically scoffing at them and saying, oh, yeah, no way they're going to do this. And I'm like, you're doing too much right now. Like, you're doing too much. Like, at this point, I could feel that it was potentially happening.
Yeah.
But without that, at first, because we talked about this last week.
Yeah, we did.
We saw the promo.
Yep.
And we were like, I don't know.
I gave him a 0% chance. But then that night when I watched, I'm like, hell no. This smells like a swerve. If I smell a swerve, this is it right here.
Yeah, it was the
it was
Tony
too
Storm,
telegraphed the way they did it, man.
Yeah, the promo, that was where I was like, oh my god, they're gonna lose. Like
It was the promo and the commentary for me that pretty much solidified it. I'm like, yeah, the swerve is coming. How they would just talk about the friendship, especially on what was it, Caden Catanzaro and Caden Carter. Like, they will talk about that versus Storm and Martinez. And I'm like, oh, yeah, swerve is coming. I see.
Yeah. Now, Io Shirai did get involved. She took out Mercedes Martinez, threw her over the announce table, and then Toni Storm was by herself. And shout out to Casey Catanzaro. I don't even know what to call that finisher. It was like a inverted Phoenix splash.
I got the name right here in Bleacher Report. They're calling it the Corkscrew 630 Splash. For the official term.
So I knew it was a sort of a 630 because it was very Ricochet.
Yeah, it was.
It was very Ricochet in there too. So
I think they go together, right?
Yeah. No, they're dating. They're dating.
Oh, yeah,
if not like engaged at this point. Yeah, they're together. So yeah, man, like that. It was very, when she landed on her back, I was like, yep. Like she's been working on that move, and it was kind of like a nod in a way to him. So I thought, okay, that's cool. I like that. And commentary was like, I'm still perplexed by what that move was. Like, this is great. So, yeah, great showing by them. I don't even know if they lose in the next round. Like, I think because they're saying, oh, we're going to the top. And normally I would say, yeah, they'll probably lose. But who knows at this point? Like, it's so when you sent me the brackets, when I saw that Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez were a team there, I'm like, oh, shit. Like, that team is going to the finals. And I think Casey Catanzaro and Caden Carter are on the same side as them. So that's where it gets tricky.
And they beat them before. They had a tag team match before. Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez against Caden Carter. They faced, I want to say maybe a month or two ago, but they faced each other before. But they got destroyed, though. It was like in quick fashion. It was like a squash match, right?
See, I just wonder if they're going to pull something like, again, just like this, where somebody gets involved and Caden and Casey find a way to the final. But I'm going to still stick with, because the matchup that I want to see in the final, the way that I'm remembering this all kind of line up, I think Shotzi and Ember go to the finals. I think that's going to happen.
Yeah. And you're not going to have two faces face each other, right?
No. I don't think so. So it makes sense for it to be Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai versus Ember Moon and Shotzi. Like, I think that's your final. Yeah. For the first ever Women's Dusty Cup. Yes. Just bring that back. Mm-hmm. And I think if that happens, man, I think you do. I think you give it to Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez. Maybe, possibly, I don't know.
I hear what you're saying. Like, I see your point. Like, I see it, but we got.
I'm not sold. I'm not selling myself.
I know. I'm not sold on that, but I see what you're trying to. I see what you're trying to sell me.
Yeah, you know what? What I love too is that Shotzi and Ember are wearing matching gear too. By the way, like when they announced them, all the cup, you saw all the teams standing up there on the stage. I saw them. I was like, they look like a good. They look like a team. They look like they're in sync. They're wearing the same gear. They got matching jackets. They're really getting into this. I'm like, oh shit. Like, this team is looking really strong right now. But then I saw Raquel and Dakota. I said, they've been teaming for a while, and it'd be another big notch for Raquel Gonzalez. Like, for her to say, yeah, she's a Dusty Cup winner. She beat Rhea Ripley. She won War Games. Io Shirai, you can't keep hiding from me. Like, I'm coming.
You're right, man, because you have accolades like that.
Yeah.
Going into a championship match against Io Shirai, that's pretty strong. That's pretty strong, and you want to cap it with a Dusty Cup.
Yeah,
being the first one too. The first.
Yeah, I don't know, man. We'll see. Either way, though, I as a fan, I'm excited for it. I think either team winning would be awesome. I would love to see Shotzi get a win and get something big like this too. So I don't know. I'm torn on who would win, and I almost don't even want to make a prediction now. I'm just like, you know what? Let's just enjoy it. Whoever wins, I'm gonna celebrate them. That's it. I'm gonna take the easy way out and just be like, look, I just want to enjoy this.
You got to make a decision.
My heart wants Shotzi and Ember to win, so that's who I'm gonna be rooting for. I think that's who I'm gonna pick. But Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai. They could do this. They could do this.
Shit.
Oh, man.
Man, it's going to be an awesome match if it comes down to these two teams. Like,
yes.
It's going to be balls to the wall.
Yep.
Barn burner match right here, bro.
Oof. All right, man. So, Tyler Rust is trying to make his own matches, and he made a mistake.
Shouldn't do that.
He made a mistake.
Shouldn't do that. Need to listen to Malcolm Bivens.
Dude, shout out to Malcolm Bivens. I like his character a little bit more now
because he's dressing the part. Because he's dressing the part.
Well, and yes, there's that, but there's also to the logic. Like when Tyler Rust came out of William Regal's office and he was all excited. Oh yeah, I did it. I got the match with Bronson Reed. And Malcolm Bivens' face was like, that's not the direction. I was like, I like this because no, you have bitten off way more than you could chew. Bronson Reed is a literal monster in NXT right now.
Yes.
That is the wrong choice for you. You came out from fighting a jobber in your last matchup, and you did all right, but like he was an unknown, the guy that you fought last. You went against Tommaso. That was great. You had a great matchup, but that's not even. We'll get to Tommaso here in a second.
Oh my God.
But you really haven't proved anything yet. Now you're trying to go against Bronson Reed, and he got destroyed. Like he tried because Malcolm Bivens was like, use your brain, outsmart him.
Yeah,
and he tried to get technical. He tried. He took his arm and he
bounced it off the ropes.
Yeah. He did that. Okay, cool. But no, everything he did, Bronson Reed just shrugged it off. Then he finished him with that big splash.
Oh my God. It looks so painful when he connects with it, man. Because it's like in slow-mo. It's like,
it's right now in NXT, that's probably the most believable finisher. Like, when you see him hit that, nobody better kick out. Like, nobody. You better not. I don't want to see anybody kick out of that. They need to protect that finisher. That is the end. Bronson Reed hits you with that. Come on, man.
Yes.
Don't kick out. Nobody. I don't care who you are. Don't kick out.
Don't kick out. Right. Remember, Seth Rollins did that when Strowman.
I was thinking,
because you bring that up when you say don't kick out, but Seth did that. Oh, that pissed me off. I'm like, how, Sway? How? That is, I don't care, bro. If he didn't hit his finisher, that is a top rope move over 300 pounds, sir.
Ridiculous. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Unbelievable. Still can't believe that happened. But anyway, I don't want to digress too much. For Bronson Reed, let's make it right. No one kicks out of that move going forward.
Protect the finish.
All right. I think we're almost. Oh, okay. We had there was one other one. Oh, Lucha House Party and Kurt Stallion. So I haven't seen Kurt Stallion yet. Not really watching 205 like that.
I'm not really watching 205 either. But you know what? I think I am because they put two of the Dusty classic matches on there. One for the women's and one for the
that.
men's. Which, we could talk about that when we get to the final match.
Yeah. So, they introduced him to the NXT audience. That was cool. Santos Escobar, this man, he needs to stop talking. Like, he's a great promo. And I think he's doing a great job. And I don't mean that from a standpoint of, like, don't cut promos anymore. Like, no, he has the confidence, the cockiness. I love that about it. But he was biting off a lot more than he can chew as well. He was talking
stay
shit
in your
about
lane, homie.
everybody. Yeah, he was talking about Finn Balor, talking about he's got a glass jaw, talking about Karrion Kross, that he couldn't carry the weight of the title. Why are you mentioning these names?
Dude, you're a cruiserweight champion, bro. You are not a North American champion. You are not an NXT champion. You are a 205 cruiserweight. You know what? Fuck that. You're not a cruiserweight champion. Let me backstep a little bit. You're not a cruiserweight champion. You are a pretend cruiserweight champion. You're not the champion of champions, sir.
With all those names he brought up, he didn't bring up Jordan Devlin.
No, he didn't.
That was one name he didn't say.
No,
he felt like
did not.
calling out everybody else.
Yep.
He didn't say Jordan Devlin's name.
No, he didn't.
Saying you trying to talk about, everything I say, I back up. Dude, you are holding a title. You never beat the guy that was champion before you. You never beat him. You won a tournament that he wasn't a part of.
My man.
And come on. He called you out, and you didn't do anything.
Talking a lot of shit. He came out there. Talking a lot of shit. Talking about
Feeling himself.
Finn Balor, glass jaw. He tricked. He had me rolling when he got on Karrion Kross. I'm like, really, bro? Karrion Kross? You putting Karrion Kross on notice, man? My guy?
He knows.
No.
Karrion Kross is like, this dude is beneath me. He knows Karrion Kross is never going to come after him for the Cruiserweight Championship. Like, he
How
knows.
can he? He's not up weight.
He can't. So he just knows, I can say whatever I want because what are you going to do anyway? Like, that's so weak. It was such a weak move, man. I'm like, you went from being a boss to being weak.
Oh, my God, yes. When he first hopped on the scene, we was talking about this dude like he a gangster. Like, Pablo Escobar. You know what I'm saying? But no, man, dude, ever since Jordan Devlin came back in the picture, he was like, oh, hey, I'm the real champion, sir. You haven't brought his name up at all. Like,
not once.
Nah.
Not once.
You avoid the situation. Every time. You want to put all the other champions that who cannot come after you. Well, maybe Finn, because he's 200. But not Karrion Kross. Come on, bro.
You don't want anybody.
Right, man.
Oh, man. So, yeah, man.
Balor don't care about no cruiserweight championship, man. That shit's beneath his ass, really.
Before we get to the main event, real quick, MSK. I love the video package that they put together for them. That was awesome, and you got a sense of their personalities a little bit more. So that was cool, man. Like I want to see more of that and more of them. And I think they got a real shot in the tournament. You know, I'm not sure who I'm. Grizzled Young Vets, I think, are my favorites right now. But MSK, with that video package, I'm going to keep my eyes open for them because I wouldn't be shocked if they went at least to the finals, if not win the whole thing. So just wanted to bring that up. But, yeah, let's get to the main event. Let's get to the fight pit. We had the match. Timothy Thatcher, the king of the fight pit, versus some semblance of Tommaso Ciampa. And I say that because I am convinced that this is somebody impersonating Tommaso Ciampa.
Yes.
This is not the true Tommaso Ciampa.
Man got
at all.
He barely shaved his head. Now he got hair on his head. Like, he just don't care.
Man. Clean up,
right,
man. Like, what's going on? But even beyond that, because, you know, if Tommaso Ciampa wants to do that, let himself go a little bit, but still be the man that's obsessed with Goldie, that's just like wants to make everybody know he's the greatest, the single greatest sports entertainer of all time, then so be it. He can look the way he wants, so long as he's doing it as the true Tommaso Ciampa. But this man that is embodying Tommaso Ciampa, there is an imposter that has taken his skin because there is some invasion of the body snatcher shit going on.
Yes!
I don't know who I watch, but Tommaso Ciampa would never do what this man did. So the match started at the top. Cool. Tommaso Ciampa's walking Timothy Thatcher down. Cool. But then they get to fighting at the top. Fine. Suplex at the top. You know, it's like, all right, cool. This is hard hitting. They get down to the ground. Bow, bow, bow. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I'm just going to fast forward to the end that pissed me off. So we get to the very end. We have Timothy Thatcher puts Tommaso Ciampa in the corner, wedges him in the cage, wedges him in there. So Tommaso Ciampa, like, he's basically, it's almost as if there was a turnbuckle there and he's sitting on it, but there isn't one. It's just the cage. So he wedges his leg in there, and then he puts his other leg over his neck, and he's wrenching the knee. Now, commentary is trying their best to say, oh, the surgically repaired knee, and earlier on in the match, it was the surgically repaired neck. Like, trying to sprinkle in, like, hey, Tommaso Ciampa's had these injuries. He had those injuries in the last match, too, so let's not go there. Let's not do all this. Right. He didn't do what he did here in the last match, and he still had a surgically repaired neck and knee. So he's wedged in between the cage. Thatcher has his knee on the back of his neck, and he's bringing together.
This, bro, just
yes.
But he got like his.
Yep.
He's like got his
wedging it, and he's pulling Tommaso's leg together, and he's trying to grab hold of both hands. And once he locks it in, he's wrenching now, and you see Thatcher. He's looking intense, and Tommaso. This is where I lost it. I was done. Tommaso is like, tap, tap, tap. I said, Tommaso Ciampa, the man that, again, this man is one of his theme song, No One Will Survive. He goes out there, he's supposed to be this badass. Again, when it came to Goldie, he was willing to destroy anybody in his path. This beast that they want to put in the same playing field as, say, Randy Orton, the Viper, like him. And when they had the Survivor Series thing, like he was going up to Randy, being like, hey, we have something in common. Look, man, Randy, I don't even want to hear that right now. I don't even want to hear that comparison right now. Because this Tommaso Ciampa that sat up there and was in pain, writhing in pain, and
help,
tapped.
Help! Get him off me!
No,
help!
No, that is not Tommaso Ciampa. Tommaso, love you, man. Respect you. You're awesome. But you out here tapping like crazy. That is not that Tommaso Ciampa character that we all fell in love with. It's not.
I literally thought that he would literally try to use the fence as leverage to alleviate the pressure and maybe try to hit his head or something like that. Because he was like this, but then he was like, ow, get him off me. Get him off me.
Get him off. I said, what?
Man,
Tommaso.
I was like, when that happened, I'm like, this is literally I was standing up looking at TV. I'm like, that's not Tommaso.
That's not him.
That's
Nope.
not Tommaso. That's not Tommaso. That's not Tommaso I know.
Nope. Just tapping like crazy. Look, certain wrestlers, you just can't see them tapping like that, especially.
Yeah.
Usually you'll see a pass out, or they just.
I'd rather go unconscious than tap.
You would think that they would book it that way too.
Yeah.
That for a guy like Tommaso Ciampa, he would just be knocked out unconscious somehow, either by a knockout finish or just put him to sleep. It's that simple. You don't have to have Tommaso Ciampa tapping to Timothy Thatcher. I get it. You want Timothy Thatcher to look strong. I get it. But Timothy Thatcher can still look strong if he puts him to sleep in a match where the only ways you can lose basically is by knockout or tap out. And if he could have been knocked out, he could have just said, I'm putting you in this rear naked choke. You going to sleep. Done. But nah, they had to have Tommaso Ciampa go out and completely he quit this guy over, which is great. But you made him look weak in the process.
You made him quit. You made Tommaso quit.
Tommaso Ciampa quit.
He quit.
Tommaso
He didn't pass out. He quit, and it looks bad. That's what's
and like in the way he quit. It wasn't just some like I don't want to tap, but fuck it. Let me just go ahead. Nah, he was get me out.
Because usually you can see, like, all right, in a match, it will make sense if the story that they're telling that, like, let's use for Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley last year, WrestleMania, how, you know, how she won, Charlotte Flair beat Rhea Ripley with a finisher, but the way she told that, she was working, like, I think the left leg the entire time. Then she applied the pressure. Then it makes sense for Rhea Ripley to tap because Charlotte Flair has been working that leg the entire time throughout the match. I didn't see that really.
Yeah, that's
it was just all over. They're just grounding and pounding, suplexing, and then all of a sudden, I got you in this wedge, and commentator was just selling it. Oh, like, oh, it's the recently repaired ACL.
They were doing more work selling it than they did in the ring to sell it. Right. That's a great point. That's a great point. Because we weren't sitting here saying that, and Rhea Ripley did tap like crazy. Get her off me. Like, she did that. But I didn't come out of that saying, oh, Rhea Ripley looked weak in that. No, It was one of the greatest matches. That was our favorite match of WrestleMania.
Yes.
That was match of the night, of the 2 nights.
Yes.
So for this, you're right. Like, if they would have sold it more leading up to that, because we all know Tommaso's history, but that's not enough in this matchup here. In this matchup, you got to be like, all right, he's going to work over the knee and wrench the knee and keep wrenching it over and over. He's focusing on that. We've seen that so many times with technical wrestlers. They'll focus on one body part, break him down, break him down, break him down, break him down, break him down. So when he finally gets in there, we're like, oh, it's over.
Yep.
But here, I didn't feel like, it's like it came out of nowhere. All of a sudden, he's got him in this move, and I'm like, man, that looks bad. And then I see Tommaso Ciampa tapping, and I'm like, wait, what? He tapped? That's it?
Man. I just assume he'll get out of it. Like, he'll try to grab the fence so y'all get some upper leverage and then maybe try to beat his head and then he'll let go or something like that. Like, nothing in the story leading up to that told me that, oh, yeah, when he puts that, oh, he's tapping for sure.
That's
no,
it.
That shit came out of completely nowhere, bro.
That's a great point. You breaking it down like that kind of brings to light more of what annoyed me about it. Because, again, granted, it's Tommaso Ciampa, and either way, I don't want to see him tapping like that. I'd rather a pass out by someone who's supposed to be this badass. Like, protect that somewhat. It's almost like they don't care to protect anything with Tommaso anymore. And it just, like, I don't know. I'm like, where are we going with Tommaso? But, yeah, just at least sell us more on Tommaso Ciampa, like, going through that pain versus just relying on us remembering, like, hey, he had those surgeries on the knee and he had to spend months and months out. Remember, and commentary keeps reminding us surgically repaired. Yeah, that's cool, but still, when it happened, my eyes were seeing this and I'm just like, oh, yeah, wow, that's a crazy spot. But I wasn't thinking this is the finish. I'm thinking, all right, there's still more. And then he starts tapping, and I'm like, what just happened? What? It's over? And why is he tapping like this? And it just, Thatcher, like, Thatcher looked great.
He did. He looked like a piece. He's actually got on both knees. Ciampa in the corner, bro, holding his leg. And Thatcher look over in the corner. He look at him. He gets down on both knees, just holding them, just pointing to himself.
Staring at him. Like,
yeah, I got you. You my bitch now.
They're trying to sell respect. Yeah, right. They were trying to sell respect. That's not what I took. It was kind of like when
I took it
Finn
as,
was staring.
He's my bitch now. That's how I took it.
It was kind of, like how Finn was staring at Kyle O'Reilly at the end of their match, and he's like, yeah, I got you, motherfucker. Yeah. Like, that's how it was with this, too. Like, that's just like, yeah, now what? I'm the man now.
Yeah, you my bitch. Matter of fact, you're going to be my tag team partner, and you're going to help me.
I feel like that's where we're going, too, by the way. I feel like they're going to team up. Like, they're trying to sell the respect.
Did you not hear about them teaming up for 205 Live for the Dusty Classic?
They're in it. What?
Yeah, it was a team that got... I'm trying to remember yesterday, but it was explained. Not yesterday. I'm sorry. NXT on Wednesday when it was explained during a backstage segment that it was a team that wasn't able to compete, so they were trying to find somebody to fill the spot, and they was able to with Timothy Thatcher and Tommaso Ciampa, bro. And they had the match on 205 Live last night. I got some.
Wow.
I got some 205 watching. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch that episode of 205 Live. Oh my god! So they already started this.
Yeah.
So here's the thing about that. So I am excited to see them, these two, like hardcore, like technical, stiff beasts go out there and do work. I am excited for that, but it still doesn't take away that Tommaso looked weak. Like it's gonna take some fixing. I feel like I just want Tommaso Ciampa to turn heel. Just turn heel and fix this whole thing. Just let's get back to what made you awesome.
Right. If he was in WWE, I'd probably be more worried. But
but since
NXT, this is simple. Simple fixing, simple booking. That if you want to flip him back to heel, go on this epic, just no cap. I'm just about to get everybody, bro. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I think they're one booking away from just getting back to that Tommaso. So I'm not like totally worried if he was on the main roster, bro.
Yeah. So yeah, man. I mean, hey, Tommaso, that was a rant just because we actually have a lot of respect for you, man. But it was just that look. It was like, wow, man. Tommaso tapping like this and out of nowhere, and just it did not look like the real Tommaso Ciampa. The Tommaso that we knew that main evented takeovers and was dominant for so long. That guy to just it was like, oh man, like come on now. I missed the old Tommaso.
Did you last week's show? Did you see the sit down that they had between Tommaso and Timothy Thatcher? They were sitting on opposite sides of the table. And I'm trying to remember who was in the middle though.
Was it Wade Barrett?
Yeah, it was Wade Barrett in the middle. It was almost very similar to the 24 on boxing when you got Max Keller. And you had very similar to that, man. It was like Timothy Thatcher and Tommaso going at it. Tommaso was like, man, I'm about to go in there and beat you and handle my business and show you the reason why they call me the Black Heart. And Thatcher just like, bro, it's a reason why I don't lose in the fight pit. You know what I'm saying? It's like there's no pinfall. It's only submission and knockout. That's it. Yep. You know what I'm saying? And this out Tommaso, he's trying to clap back. He's like, do I look scared? Do I look scared to you? And Timothy Thatcher was like, nah, I don't see a scared man. I see somebody who's somebody who's doubt themselves, who's still trying to prove themselves to them. I was like, oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, he got you right there, Tommaso. There's some truth to that.
He got you pegged, man.
There's some truth to that. Yeah. He called you out, and I was like, ooh.
Gosh.
Yeah, but the
one thing too that I could give Tommaso here was that the way this match is set up, like Widow's Bell, his finisher, his new finisher, he couldn't really apply it in any way because there's no ropes.
Well, he used it at one time with the ref.
He did.
Yeah, which was slick. Yeah. But
but it's still not the same impact that you would get. So that's a way that they could have already sold. Like, hey, Thatcher has one up on him because you take away one of his best moves, against him. So if he can't do that, then Thatcher, he has all of his repertoire because he's all like submissions and joint manipulation and things like that. Like this is his house.
This is his domain, right?
Yeah. So all he has to do is apply the right submission, put you to sleep, done. But yeah, man, it is what it is. What is what it is. But you want to say something before?
Oh no, we're good, bro. We're good.
Okay, all right. Yeah, man. So that does it. That's pretty much it for NXT, man. We went through damn near everything here. Any other thoughts or things that you want to talk about before we close it?
Yeah. So I just found out, real quick, NBC Sports. All right. So they will be closing their network, no longer broadcasting on the NBC Sports Network. So you won't see NASCAR, NHL. They will be back on the USA Network. And as you know, with hockey, sometimes they play on Wednesday nights. So now NXT is in the air. So are you all for switching nights? Maybe Tuesday?
That sucks because I like the Wednesday Night Wars.
I know. But it's not like they're doing anything against the Wednesday Night Wars against AEW. It actually probably
whatever they need to do to keep NXT running, I want.
Okay.
I don't want to lose NXT. You know what I'm saying? So if it means moving a night, then move the night. Like, do what you got to do because that has nothing to do with AEW's killing us, so we got to move because we need to do something strategic. Like this is like, hey, the network is making a decision, and it's either we take another night or nothing, so take the other night. Absolutely. That's from a business perspective. It just makes sense.
Which night
would you
pick?
I don't know. Tuesday is fine. Like you have Raw and then you get NXT the next day, like 2 days in a row of wrestling. I mean, we used to get that with SmackDown
Impact.
and Raw. Yeah. Well, now you have the Tuesday Night Wars with NXT and Impact. I mean, I guess,
Yeah, if you want to call it that. If you want to call it a war.
Yeah, I'm watching NXT. I'll tell you right now. Like, that's just,
yeah,
I mean, that's pretty clear. There's no challenge there. I'm sorry. Impact, you're doing your thing, but no, NXT is where it's at for me. But yeah, I'd say Tuesday. That's fine. There's no real, either way. Either you go to Tuesday or you go to Thursday, and then you have 2 days of wrestling back to back. Either way, either you go NXT SmackDown or you do Raw and then NXT. Either way,
I like that. I'd probably pick Tuesday. I for some reason I think even when they had that special night on Tuesday, it actually performed better on Tuesday too. Because even I'm not into the Wednesday Night Wars, with AEW against NXT. Because to me, I'm like, you kind of just split the wrestling crowd up when you do that because they're showing on the same time slot. Actually, this could be a benefit to NXT if now we're on our own night on Tuesday. And then, got Impact on, Access and Twitch. But I don't think that's not going to even interfere with what NXT is trying to do.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. Also from a business perspective, bigger picture, AEW gets help big time from that because now, on Wednesdays, there's one show to watch.
Yeah.
And then wherever NXT is going to go, whichever night, they'll like you said, there'll be Impact, but it really won't be a detriment to them at all. If they go to Tuesdays. If they go to Thursday, there's really nothing else there. So, yeah, man, I think either one works. And like I said, whatever they got to do to keep NXT running, because for me, that's still my favorite brand, period, right now to watch. I would say, yeah, man, like just let's keep this going because, I love that brand, so we'll see. But, yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, man, because I thought I'd bring it up because it was big news. I'm like, oh, so most likely that NXT is going to be switching nights, and I thought it would probably be more, beneficial to your point to both promotions now.
To both,
yeah.
No, definitely. I agree. Cool. All right, that will do it for this recap. We went through AEW, we went through NXT, so all that is left to do is for Devin, for you, sir, to tell the people where they can catch us.
Yes, all the time. So there are a lot of platforms you can find us at. Let me go down the list. It is Twitter. You can always follow us on Twitter. Hit that follow button. And yes, we are over 400 Twitter followers. We're on to road to 500. So thank you for everybody who's been following us. More and more people, who's been reaching out to us. Interviews and whatnot with wrestlers, guest spots. So thank you. I want to say we're definitely booked for a good 3 to 4 weeks. So people who've been reaching out, and I had to decline a few people. Like, hey, I'm not able to make it. Hafeez wasn't able to make it as well. We do apologize. It's just right now time is very limited on our side, but we do thank you, and thank you for your support.
Thank you, yeah.
Yes, and you can always follow us on other platforms as well. We have the great, awesome Facebook page, over 200 followers as well, 237 to be exact, going to that 250 mark, so thank you. And we have the awesome Clark Street Facebook wrestling page called the Clark Street Wrestling Community, so please just find it, hit join. It is private, but we'll welcome you with open arms as well. And last but certainly not least, TikTok. Yes.
TikTok.
Yes. I cannot forget about TikTok because we're on the road to 2,000 followers. We already eclipsed the 1,500 mark. We're on the road to almost close to 1,800 now. So it is a beautiful thing. Thank you for everybody who's been following the Clark Street Wrestling Podcast on TikTok. We appreciate all the followers. More content is on the way. And there's a lot of platforms, podcast platforms, you can actually listen to us if you're not able to follow us or watch us on YouTube. There's a lot of platforms. There's Breaker, iHeart, Spotify. Oh, I forgot too. We're on Pandora, bro. It just hit my memory. We're on Pandora now. Yes.
That's
Huzzah!
awesome.
You can find us now on the newest platform on Pandora. If Pandora is one of your favorite radio apps or music apps to listen to, and you'd like to listen to podcasts as well, search for the Clark Street Wrestling Podcast, and you'll be able to find us. We'll find all of our wrestling catalog episodes in there. We have over 160 for your listening pleasure, all on the website, which I cannot forget, called ClarkStreetWrestling.com. ST for the abbreviation. No, sir, I did not forget. I'm the one where I'm going with this in my head. Thank you very much. I am done.
Awesome as always, man. And with that said, that is going to do it for this recap episode of AEW Dynamite and NXT, the gold standard. So for Devin, I'm Hafeez. We'll catch you guys next time. Peace.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening to the Clark Street Wrestling Podcast.